Okay, let's just dive right in. It's February 2026. And, I mean, if you blink, you miss an entire generation of software tools. Do you remember, and this already feels like ancient history, do you remember when we all thought GitHub Copilot was like the absolute
Oh, the
peak?
good old days of 2024.
Right. It feels like a lifetime ago. Back then, having an autocompleter that could guess the next three lines of a function,
Hmm,
that felt like magic.
it really did.
We were all thinking, this is it. We've peaked. Computers write code now.
And looking back, Copilot feels a bit like, I don't know, T9 predictive text on an old flip phone. It was useful, sure.
Yeah, it saved you some keystrokes.
But compared to what we have today, it's a toy.
That's exactly what we're getting into. The throne is under attack. We're seeing what the forums and Reddit and X are calling a duel of titans.
Right.
And the whole debate has shifted from, can AI help me code, to this really intense battle over how it should run the show. And in the ring, we have two heavyweights, Cursor and Claude Code.
It is the defining debate for developers this year. And what's so fascinating is that this isn't just, Coke versus Pepsi.
Right.
It's a clash of fundamental philosophies about how software should even be built.
We've got a huge stack of data to get through. Benchmarks from late 2025, user reviews, and some really sharp analysis from sources like OscarAI. Our mission isn't to just say, buy this one. It's to help you figure out which one fits your brain. Because one source put it perfectly. Asking if Cursor is better than Claude Code is like asking if a Ferrari is better than a Porsche.
It's a strong analogy.
Yeah.
But, looking at the architecture, I'd maybe tweak it a little.
How so?
I'd say it's more like asking, is a Ferrari better than a chauffeur?
Okay, I like that. So one you drive and one drives you.
Exactly. And that distinction, that one little change, it changes everything about how you work.
Well, let's pop the hood on the Ferrari first. Let's talk Cursor. The notes call it the supercharged cockpit. But I can ask the skeptic's question. Isn't it just VS Code with a fancy wrapper?
Visually, yes. And that was a brilliant move on their part. They forked VS Code so it feels like home.
Oh.
But under the hood, it is a completely different animal. You can't just think of it as a plugin.
So it's not an extension you just install and forget about.
No, and that's the key. Because they control the entire editor, the actual binary on your machine.
Yeah.
They can do things a plugin just can't. They have this tab autocomplete that literally predicts where your cursor is going next.
Your mouse movement?
Your intent before you even type. And then there's Composer.
Composer keeps coming up. It seems to be the killer feature everyone obsesses over. What is it actually doing?
Think of it as a command center that just floats over your entire project.
Yeah.
Normally, you work in one file at a time. With Composer, you hit a shortcut and just say, hey, rename this variable, but also update the API call in this other file and fix the unit test in a third file to match.
And it just does it all at once.
It applies the changes across the file system simultaneously.
So it's context-aware across the whole project.
To a degree, yeah, and we can get to the limitations of that. But that's where the Ferrari comparison works. It is fast. We're talking about a tool that's designed to keep you in a flow state. You're still a pilot. You're gripping the wheel. But the car is practically reading your mind.
The numbers here are just staggering. By late 2025, Cursor hit $1 billion in annual revenue.
$1 billion. In dev tools, that is unicorn territory on steroids. That's faster growth than Slack, faster than Zoom.
And used by half the Fortune 500.
It's become the default. You walk into a startup in San Francisco or London, you don't see stock VS Code. You see Cursor. It integrated AI without breaking that muscle memory of coding.
That's the pilot philosophy. I'm in charge, I'm typing, the AI boosts me. Okay, so let's swing over to the other side, the chauffeur, Claude Code.
Right, or as the sources call it, the autonomous agent.
This feels a little more intimidating. We're talking Anthropic's new models, Opus 4.5 and Sonnet 4.5, but the interface isn't an editor.
Primarily, no. It's terminal first, CLI.
Wait, so we're going back to the 80s. We're typing into a black box with green text.
In a way, yes. But instead of typing code, you're typing orders. The philosophy isn't, help me write this function.
It's, do this for me.
It's delegation. You tell Claude, here's a bug. Go investigate the file system, run the test to reproduce it, fix it, and then verify the fix.
That's a huge leap. You're not typing the code, you're managing the thing that types the code.
Exactly. And because it lives in the terminal, it can run git commit, it can run npm test, it can do all the things you do.
And while it's doing that, what am I doing?
You go get a coffee.
Seriously, you just walk away from the keyboard.
That is the entire pitch. The source material explicitly mentions the coffee break factor. This is for the developer who hates the grunt work. They want to be the architect, not the bricklayer.
It says here it can even spawn sub-agents. That just sounds like science fiction.
It's the reality of 2026. If a task is too big, Claude Code can basically say, okay, this is complex. Agent A, you handle the database. Agent B, you update the front end. It coordinates itself.
So Cursor is, I want to write this, and Claude Code is, I want this written.
Perfectly put, yes.
But here's the million-dollar question. Does it actually work? Or is it just a really expensive way to generate bugs? Because we have some benchmarks here pitting these two head-to-head, and the results are confusing.
The soccer dashboard challenge. This went viral, and for a very good reason. It exposes the trade-offs perfectly.
Okay, walk us through it. The task was building a stats dashboard with a football API. Standard stuff.
A classic interview question, basically.
Yeah.
So they fire up Cursor. The developer uses Composer, types in the prompt. How long did it take?
2 minutes and 26 seconds.
That is blistering. That's faster than you can explain the requirements to another human being. It's almost instant.
So speed is king for Cursor.
Yeah.
Now, Claude Code gets the same prompt. The timer starts.
And you wait. And you wait some more.
The transcript says 24 minutes.
24 minutes.
Okay, hold on. In tech time, that is an eternity. If I'm sitting there staring at a blinking cursor for 24 minutes, I'm losing my mind. I'm thinking it's stuck. It's broken. Yeah. Who has that kind of time?
And that's the speed gap.
Yeah.
It's the biggest hurdle for new users. It feels agonizingly slow compared to that instant dopamine hit from Cursor. But we have to ask why it took so long.
Was it just being slow?
No, it was thinking. This is the difference between, System 1 thinking fast, intuitive, and System 2 thinking slow, deliberate reasoning. Claude wasn't just guessing the next word. It was planning.
And did that planning pay off? Was the result actually better?
The reviewer said it was night and day. Cursor's code worked, but it was brittle. Hard-coded values, not much error handling. It was a prototype.
Okay.
Claude Code. It set up a robust folder structure. It added error handling for when the API fails. It even wrote a re-editing file explaining how to run it.
So Cursor gave you a sketch and Claude gave you a product.
Exactly. And this is backed up by the broader data. We're seeing this metric called rework rate.
Which is what? The time you spend fixing what the AI just broke.
Basically, yeah. How often do you have to just delete the code it gave you because it was wrong? With Claude Code, especially Opus 4.5, the rework rate is 30% lower than Cursor.
30%, that's huge. That's the difference between leaving work at 5 and staying until 8, debugging some phantom library the AI hallucinated.
It completely changes the calculus. Do you want to save 20 minutes right now or 2 hours of debugging tomorrow?
I want to dig into the why, though. Why is Claude so much better at that deep thinking? Is it just a smarter model?
It's the context handling. This gets a little technical, but it's crucial. You hear these big numbers like 200,000 tokens.
Which, for anyone listening, is roughly a medium-sized book.
Or hundreds of code files, yeah. Now, Cursor can see your files, but because it needs to be so fast, it uses something called RAG Retrieval Augmented Generation.
That sounds like it's just searching for keywords.
That's essentially what it is. It snips out little relevant pieces of your code for the AI. Oh, you're editing the user profile. Here's the user schema. But it can miss things. It might miss that one file deep in some other folder. It's looking through a keyhole.
And Claude
Code, with that massive 200K context window and all that processing time, is effectively holding the entire project in its brain at once. It sees the whole dependency graph. It understands if I change this function here, it breaks that other module over there.
So it's actually reasoning, not just pattern matching.
Exactly. And that's why it scores over 80% on the SWE Bench verified benchmark. It's acting like a senior engineer who gets the whole system, where Cursor acts like a really, really fast junior engineer who just wants to close the ticket.
Ouch. Sorry to all the fast junior engineers listening.
Hey, speed has its place. If I'm building a prototype or just hacking together a script, I'm using Cursor every single time. I don't want to wait 24 minutes for something I'm going to use once.
So it really comes down to the user experience you want. The source uses this great phrase for Cursor, patinating, like ice skating.
That flow state.
I think we've all felt that when you're just in the zone. Cursor protects that zone. It removes all the friction.
Whereas the vibe for Claude Code is relief. It's the relief of handing off the stuff you hate doing.
Like refactoring old code.
Or writing unit tests.
Yeah.
Or updating documentation.
Documentation. If
Yeah.
it can do that for me, you can take my money.
It does.
Yeah.
And it does it well because it's read the whole code base. It's the tool for tasks that need heavy lifting and deep thought, but maybe not so much creativity.
I want this written. I keep coming back to that phrase.
It's a powerful shift.
Yeah.
But we do have to talk about the price of admission. because neither of these tools runs on cheap gas.
Yeah, let's talk logistics. February 2026 pricing, what's the damage?
Cursor sticks to the SaaS model we all know. You pay your $20 a month, maybe $200 for an ultra enterprise tier. It's predictable.
But you have limits, right? You can't just mash the key all day.
You have a quota of fast requests. After that, you get throttled. But your bill is the same every month. Claude Code is a different beast.
Token-based.
Mostly. They have subscriptions. But for heavy use, you're paying for compute. And remember that 24-minute wait. That's 24 minutes of a very expensive model churning through your tokens.
So if you ask it to refactor something and it goes in a circle, you still pay for that trip.
You do. The costs can be unpredictable. If it gets stuck in an agentic loop where it tries to fix a bug, fails, tries again, you could burn through $50 before you even realize it's stuck.
That's the taxi meter anxiety versus the rental car flat rate. With the taxi, I'm watching that meter the whole time.
Exactly. And then there's privacy. We always have to touch on this, but it's huge for enterprise.
Both of them need to send your code to the cloud to work.
There's no offline mode for models this smart, not yet. Now, their policies are good. They say they don't train on your code by default. But if you're working on, say, defense contracts, uploading your entire code base to Anthropic servers is probably a non-starter.
Okay, so we have the layout. Cursor for speed and flow. Claude Code for depth and reasoning. But the sources mention a third option, the power user setup.
The double-dipping strategy.
This sounds expensive.
It is, but for top-tier developers, it's becoming the standard. You run Cursor as your daily driver. That's your editor. Use it for quick edits for that 90% of the day where you're just, writing code.
And then...
And then when you hit a wall, when you need to refactor a really messy class or there's a bug you just can't trace, you tab over to your terminal and you unleash Claude.
You call in the consultant.
Exactly. You use the IDE for speed and the agent for heavy thinking. It's the Cursor Pro plus Claude Max combo.
That makes so much sense. Why limit yourself to one when they cover each other's blind spots so perfectly?
It's an investment for sure. You're paying for 2 subscriptions, but if that saves you 5 hours of frustration a week, it pays for itself in a day.
So if I'm a listener sitting here in 2026, trying to decide...
Here's the verdict. If you're starting a greenfield project, a new app, a new idea, an MVP, use Cursor. Nothing beats that speed of creation.
And if I'm stuck maintaining a 5-year-old legacy code base that no one on the team understands?
Claude Code. Hands down. Don't try to navigate that jungle yourself. Send the agent in with a machete.
I love that image. But this is February 2026. I get the sense that even this conversation might be obsolete in 6 months.
Oh, absolutely. The pace is terrifying. We barely even touched on the newcomers.
Windsurf. Devin 2.0.
Windsurf is trying to blend the two in IDE with agentic capabilities built in. And Devin 2.0 is promising full end-to-end autonomy. We might get to a point where writing code isn't even the job anymore.
That's the provocative question I wanted to end on. If the tools get this good at the how, at actually writing the syntax, what happens to the developer?
The definition is changing. I think the era of the coder is ending and the era of the product engineer is beginning.
Meaning what, exactly?
Meaning your value isn't knowing how to write a sorting algorithm. The AI can do that better than you. Your value is knowing what to build. It's understanding the user, the architecture, the system. You become the curator. You're the director, not the camera operator.
We're moving from being painters to being art directors.
Precisely. And that's empowering, but it's also a little intimidating because you can't hide behind the code anymore. You have to understand the product.
Well, whether you're Team Cursor, Team Claude, or you're rocking the power combo, the one thing that's clear is that the barrier to building amazing things has never been lower.
It is a great time to be a builder. Just maybe keep an eye on that API bill.
Good advice. So here's our challenge to you, the listener. Don't just take our word for it. Try the flow state. Try the delegation. See which one fits your brain.
Find your own flow.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the coding wars of 2026. I'm sure by the time we record the next one, the robots will be recording it for us.
I wouldn't bet against it.
Until next time, keep shipping with style.
Keep